Hi, I'm Steve Ellick at the Consumer Reports Auto Test Track, and this is the 2024 Volkswagen Atlas. After a minor refresh, this Atlas is still quite a functional three-row SUV, graced with a well-crafted interior and a functional third-row seat. On the surface, the Atlas is great. The seating space is exceptionally roomy, cargo area is enormous, and the cabin has a fit and finish level that would fool your passengers into thinking you spent way more than you actually did. But day-to-day livability is compromised due to its frustrating controls. Plus, the switch from a V6 engine to a turbo four-cylinder did not improve fuel efficiency. We bought the Volkswagen Atlas SE with technology package and 4Motion all-wheel drive, with a base price of $43,565. We got some options including the power tilting and sliding panoramic sunroof, some heavy-duty all-weather mat, a trailer hitch, and with some other options which added $2,206. After the $1,350 destination charge, it brings the total to $47,121. The most notable change for this refresh is with the Atlas's powertrain, and the V6 motor is no longer offered. It's been replaced by a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo motor producing 269 horsepower. This motor is mated to a 8-speed automatic transmission. Most of our testers were satisfied with this new engine. The 8-speed automatic shifts smoothly most of the time, but less so than it did with the V6. The refresh brings styling cues to the exterior, such as the headlights, the grille, and the taillights, but the interior is where this Atlas really sets itself apart from the previous model. Volkswagen's done an incredible job upgrading the interior of this Atlas. It is way nicer than the last version we tested. It has a nice presentation and delivers a classier feel than you think you'd get for $47,000. It has quality-looking wood-like trim and a fair amount of padded and contrasting stitching surfaces. Volkswagen perforated leatherette seat material looks and feels very much like the real thing. Other thoughtful details include rubber liners inside of the door pulls, nice wood trim around the door latch and mid-dash area, and many controls that work with fine precision. We did notice there's a lot of this gloss piano black trim, which we don't really like because it accumulates fingertips, smudges, and everything. Would be better to have some sort of other material here. The infotainment system on this Atlas leaves much room for improvement. First, it's just a laggy system in general. Second, a lot of the features inside are buried within the menus. For example, when you want to turn on the seat heat, you have to press it more than one time to actually turn on the seat heat. On the bright side, literally, the infotainment screen uses a lot of vibrant colors and large text, so it's easy to see what you're looking for. And additionally, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto come standard. As a family vehicle, the Atlas has plenty of storage in the cabin. It has a cubby up here with a rubber gripped base for cell phones and keys. It has cup holders up front, cup holders in the rear, one little one here, and one large area down here to put other stuff you would like, such as a purse. And it has a pretty large storage compartment under the armrest. Regarding seat comfort, reviews were really mixed. Some drivers liked how long the bottom cushion were, while other shorter-legged drivers didn't like that. Some noticed that the back was not supportive enough, while others fit perfectly into it. Personally, I don't like how wide the seats are. I prefer a seat to hug me a little bit more. I slide side to side a little bit too much in it. But overall, it's a pretty solid seat. This rear seat is extremely roomy, as well as supportive and comfortable. And I love that it slides fore and aft, as well as has a recline. There's a lot of possibilities for adjustment back here. And for me, I have 2 child seats. It fit them perfectly back here. One part I love about the Atlas is the access to the third row. The second row seats have this unique articulating feature, which if you move the second row out of the way, the entire seat moves as a unit. And then you can push it forward, giving you a generous path to the third row. And what I love even more is that we were able to do this motion with a child seat installed, although to a lesser extent. It's pretty roomy back here, and it's quite comfortable as well. Unusual for this class, it can fit 1 or 2 adults quite comfortably, and I have plenty of knee room with Maybe my one complaint being how low this seat is. It's pushing my knees up on the ground. But overall, this is a great third row. The Atlas has impressive cargo space. It's also easy to load and unload cargo without much overhead obstruction. There are a lot of things you can do with the cargo area. First, you can use it as it is with all 3 rows of seating up. You could also put the 3rd row of seats down. As you see here, it's quite easy to do so. Driving the Atlas is pretty average, some good, some bad. Most of the testers actually enjoyed this new motor. They said it had ample power to pass someone. The 4-cylinder turbo motor had enough power for them. Not everybody felt this way. I personally, when I had this for a weekend, joked with my family that it was like a weed whacker engine because it just feels so underpowered. It feels like every situation I'm in, I have to floor the motor to actually get it to do something. The cabin is fairly quiet. It's well isolated from the outside, and that's fine. The main point of contention for most testers was the fact that the engine noise was loud, and there's this fake engine noise piped in to almost make it sound like the former V6 that is more sporty, which has now been replaced by this 4-cylinder. So that fake engine noise, a lot of the testers didn't like it. Some didn't notice it. Overall, pretty quiet. Handling in this Atlas is pretty good for its size. It steers into corners quite naturally, but the steering is pretty light. So you lose that feedback when you're in the corner, so it doesn't give you the most confident driving experience. And overall, it's lost some agility compared to the previous model. Overall, this is a great mid-sized 3-row SUV, and the refresh brought some welcome changes that we do enjoy in it. If you do buy a Volkswagen Atlas, we suggest getting the 2nd-tier SE version like we did. It comes with useful options such as the power liftgate, remote start, USB ports, and heated and ventilated front seats. What we do wish this version came with is automatic high beams. You have to jump up to the SEL trim to get those features. For more on mid-sized 3-row SUVs, check out consumerreports.org.